All right, we got the Houston Texans at home against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins really pulled that game out at the end there against the Jets, playing pretty well right now with Tua back in that lineup. But they got to keep ahead of their defense, not playing great. We got -3 point spread here at DraftKings, total 47. And if we look at points per game, 26.8 last four for the offense for Texans, 22 on defense, 29.3 on offense for the Dolphins, 22.5 on defense. Looking at 56 point per this game if you just go by offense, and 44.5 if um, you are going just by defense. And I like to take the unders. And if you look at my simulation here, I'm going to tell you right now when we get to it, it's 50. So it's over. The offense is on the over. Defense is looking at the under, but they're in a dome, and you should expect them to score a lot. We're looking at passing yards per game. Lots for 220 on offense for the Texans, 269 on defense. They are giving up a lot of yards in the air, which is one of the worst in the league right now. 312 on offense for the Dolphins. Expect them to keep throwing the ball a lot, but the defense giving up 261, and they're pretty even with the Texans, two of the worst when it comes to passing yards per game. The last four rushing yards per attempt, 3.6 for the Texans here, 3.7 on defense, 2.8 though on Dolphins offense, and they're giving up a little more with 4.1. And expect Mixon to go off if he is starting in this game. You never know with that guy because he's injured a lot. Points per play, 2.4 for Texans offense, 2.3 on defense, 3.4 on Dolphins offense, 4.3 on defense. Expect a lot of points in the dome. Total expected points, we got 4.3 for the Texans, 5.5 for the Dolphins. That would give you a -1.3 spread. I'd rather round down to -1, and that would be a bet towards the Dolphins. But our point differential would lead to a different um, spread with -3.7, and that would not be a bet, period, because it's pretty even with -3. Scroll over here to game cards, the simulations of points per game, not points per game, just the other stats, last four and last offense defense stats. We got 50-50 game here with a 0 point spread, so it's definitely a pick 'em. 50 total points, as I mentioned earlier. So pick 'em game here, I would not mind taking Dolphins as a teaser. That is a Stanford long one with 3. So you're at 6 points to the spread, and that would take it to 9 points. I feel like the Dolphins could also win the game, but so it wouldn't be a bad teaser, especially if you match it up with another one that you might expect the Dolphins to win. But the Texans have played quite better on offense since they got Nico Collins back, and I expect that to continue. But the green cards are just a little bit different over here because points per play, you're expecting Texans to be higher, but expected points, offense, defense leans towards Dolphins. But then you have yards per play, which is zero point 0.6 higher for the Texans. Turnover battle should be just a tad lower for the Texans. So this is definitely a toss-up game. When you get your cards mixed up here, as they are, it's just a pick-em game. So I don't mind taking a +6 teaser and adding that to the Dolphins. So I'll match that up with one of my others. And the next game we have here is the Jacksonville Jaguars at home against the New York Jets. They barely lost that game last week against the Dolphins. We got +3 spread for the Jags and -3 for the Jets. We got total points 41 at DraftKings currently. 10.8 on offense for the Jaguars, 20 on offense for the Jets. Last 4 points per game. 23.3 on defense for the Jaguars, 29.3 for the Jets defense. Then we have 30.8 points in this game if you go by the last 4 games for their offenses, but expect it to be a little higher because of the defenses being so bad. But offense and defense, the defense bad, the offense aren't playing great. So it could really go either way. 52.5 total points with the averages on the defense. And our model with our simulations, when we scroll over, you'll see that it's 42. So pretty here even. But if we look at points per game, I already did that. Passing yards per game in the last 4, 178 is all for the Jags, 195 is all for the Jets on offense, 262 on defense for the Jaguars, 252 for the Jets. And Jets still stink since Robert Saleh got fired. And that tells you a lot about them. Passing yards per attempt, 5.9 for the Jags offense, 8.1 though on defense, 6.0 for the Jets offense, 8.5 on defense for the Jets. Very similar here. Both getting killed in passing games. Rushing yards per attempt, 3.0 for the Jags offense, 4.3 on defense, 4.4 on offense for the Jets. And the Jets, their strong suit right now is that defense against the run, 3.3 rushing yards per attempt, points per play, 1.2 for Jags offense, which is worse than the league, 3.7 for the defense, 2.2 on offense for the Jets. Then you got the Jets defense with third or fourth in the league at 4.5, which is just horrible. Total expected points, negative 13.7 for the Jags, negative 9.6 for the Jets. That would give you a spread of negative 4.1 or negative 4 for the Jets. And that is only a 1-point margin, so that is a no bet. And then if you look at point differential, that would leave you to negative 4.5 spread towards the Jets, which is also a no bet too. If we scroll over here to game cards, our simulations last 4 games, offense, defense stats, you got 48.8% chance for the Jags to win, 51.2% chance for the Jets, and the spread will sit at -1. That's a 2-point margin for the Jags here, and I do not want to take it because if you're taking it, you get under the 3. I'd much rather over 3.5 if you're going to take the Jags. But even then, I really don't know how this game is going to turn out. It's definitely a toss-up game. And as I talked about, 42-point totals for our simulation, so it's only 1 point above the 41 that it sits out at DraftKings. And the cards are pretty green towards the Jets, but you got to worry about the turnover card and yards per play card and passing yards per attempt. So a lot to point to a Jets win, just barely above that 50-50 game, but nothing that I like here too much. And the Jags are a 6-point Stanford Wong teaser. So do note that you can match it up with your other teasers and do a round robin. But I have no belief in the Jags. Maybe they can pull it off, but with that defense and offense, I just don't know if it'll be the case. And the Jets are definitely looking to win a game and prove that Robert Saleh was the problem. But so far, they haven't proved that at all. That is all I got for these 2 games. My name's Jordy. You've been watching Betman Sports Betting, and I'll see you in the next video.